Okay, let's talk about the one tool you probably use dozens of times a day without even thinking about it. Nope, it's not your phone, it's not your keys, it's money. It's so woven into our lives that it's almost invisible, right? Well, today we're going to bring it right into focus. I mean, just take a second and think about your day so far. Did you grab a coffee this morning? Pay for a train ticket or gas for your car? Maybe you even clicked buy now on something online. Yep, money was right there for all of it. It's kind of wild when you stop and realize just how often we use it. And its role is it's absolutely fundamental. It's everywhere. Money touches pretty much every single part of our lives, our homes, our jobs, even what's in our fridge. So let's really dive in and break down what that role actually is. We'll start with the most basic stuff. All right, first up, survival. You can think of money as being like the foundation of a house. You can't really build anything on top of it, dreams, goals, a future, without that solid base. And money, well, that's what helps us build that base by securing our most basic essential needs. And what are we talking about here? Well, it really just comes down to the big essential things, right? We're talking food, a roof over our heads, clothes to wear, healthcare, even education. Money is the tool that lets us access these absolute cornerstones for living a healthy life. This is where money really shines. It's kind of like a universal translator for value. I mean, can you imagine trying to trade, say, your skills as a graphic designer for a week's worth of groceries? Or trying to pay your rent with a bunch of homemade pies? It would be a total mess. Money just simplifies everything. It's the one thing we all agree has a certain value, and that makes all these daily exchanges go smoothly. Okay, so money is not just about survival. Once those fundamental needs are taken care of, it unlocks something else, something really powerful. Choice. And this is the big shift, right? We go from just surviving to actually building a life that has some real flexibility. Just think about the difference for a second. Without money, you're stuck bartering. Your options are totally limited by what the other person has and whether they even want what you have to offer. But with money, the whole world of possibilities just opens right up. You get the freedom to pick what you want, when you want it, and from whoever you want it. That's how you get the flexibility to really shape your own life. So how do we earn this freedom? Well, it's through our livelihood. It's a pretty simple idea, really. Our livelihood is just how we get the things we need to live. And for most of us, that means a job or maybe running a business. Basically, we trade our time and our skills for the money that gives us that power to choose. All right, so money takes care of us today and it gives us choices, but its job isn't done there. It's also a super important tool for tomorrow. It's what allows us to look ahead and actually start planning for the future. So how does it do that exactly? Well, it acts as what's called a unit of account. I know that sounds a little technical, but it's really not. All it means is that money is our universal measuring stick for value. Think about it. How could you possibly compare the value of a house to the value of a college education without it? Money gives us that common language, and that is the absolute first step to getting a handle on your finances. And once you have that, you've got a clear path to your future goals. Look, it starts with earning money through your work. Step 2, you use that measuring stick we just talked about to make a budget so you actually know where your money is going. And that clarity, that's what makes the last step possible, saving. And we're not just talking about saving for emergencies. We're talking about building toward the big things in life, buying a home, saving for retirement, or maybe helping your kids with their education. So far, we've been looking at money from a pretty personal angle, but it has a much, much bigger role to play. So let's zoom out for a minute and see how money connects our entire world, kind of like the thread in this giant economic fabric that we all share. And this right here, this is basically the engine of our economy. Think about it. You buy something, your money goes to a business. That business uses your money to pay its employees, people just like you, and to pay taxes to the government. Then the government uses that tax money for public services we all benefit from. See? It's this huge interconnected cycle, and money is the energy that keeps the whole thing moving. Okay, now we need to touch on a more complex part of money's role in our lives. Because it's not just about economics, it can also be social. The source material brings up a really key point. The amount of money someone has can sometimes affect their social standing and the kinds of opportunities they get. But, and this is a really, really important but, it is absolutely not the only thing that matters. The source material is very clear about this. Things like your skills, your education, and frankly, your character, those things are just as important, and you could argue even more important when it comes to who you are and what you contribute to the world. So when you pull it all together, What is money? It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, right? It's a tool for survival. It's a tool that gives us choice. And it's a tool that connects all of us. It's not good or bad on its own, but there's no denying how powerful it is. It shapes everything from our own daily lives to the entire global economy. So we've seen it's a tool for survival, for choice, for connection. But that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. After all that, beyond all its functions, how do you define its true value? What does money really mean in your life? Something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.